Welcome, 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 everybody, to our third monthly group coachathon. This is March 4th, 2025, and this is our third session for the year 2025. And I hope that those of you that have been keeping up with the coachathon as a business owner are having a incredible beginning of the year, that you've been able to monetize your year so far and maybe even come in at a higher level than what you left 2024 with, and hopefully at a higher level than you started 2024 with. So that's always exciting to see our businesses grow. And I just wanted to share for a moment a couple of things that I've been doing. I've been working under Brian Walsh, who is a coach out of South Africa, and I was just incredibly gifted by him to have access to his trainings. He gifted them to me, lifetime access, and I don't know why he did that. I was on one of his trainings, and I guess you know how I am. I love to serve, and I love to be encouraging and inspiring other people and be helpful. And I guess it just what I do just kind of paid off. And another one of his trainings that he did, I was involved in, and he announced, I'm going to gift Margine a lifetime access to the Real Success Network. So I have truly been blessed by other top leaders during my last few 7, 8 years of business. And I know it can happen to you too, as long as you just stick in there and stay active and just get out there and be seen and serve and provide good quality content and provide value that you will be blessed as well. So I spent the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, on a Real Success intensive that Brian delivers. I think the last time that he delivered it live was just before COVID. So he hasn't presented his intensive live for 5 years. And he decided that he wanted to do it again, but he did it virtually. And it's still just as powerful, I think. It can be, it's more powerful if you can attend those events live, because then you can rub elbows with those people that are in the room and get to shake his hand and, all that fun stuff that we can't do virtually. But the value that we received over this weekend was just absolutely incredible. It was 3 days, 6 hours a day. And he gives you breaks, but it's like a 5 minute break here, 15 minute. We had like two 15-minute breaks, which is not very much. So my body wasn't real happy about it. And I spent the entire day on Monday resting and just sleeping and just trying to recoup from the whole weekend. But what I received from it was just absolutely invaluable. And the reason I bring this up is because the trainings that he provided were some of the trainings that I had already done through his platform, his Real Success Network platform that contains all kinds of recorded trainings by the people that he uses in his company to teach. And John DeMartini, if you haven't read any of his books or you haven't seen any of his material, is absolutely inspiring when you talk about mindset. And I know I did take some of you guys through the standard process and the value process that John DeMartini teaches. And he's been teaching values for over 40 years. That's how powerful it is. And that's how it's intentional with the idea that you never can learn enough. And so we always need to be learning. At the end of 2024 in December, I did my values again through John DeMartini's program, and really got some wake up calls and some aha moments. And that's where I had announced that I was moving into trying to get back into what I value the most. And the truth came out that my number one value is teaching. My second value is learning. And my third value is health. And when I first came into the online space, I wanted to teach. I loved teaching. When I got with the unique company, with the makeup company, I was able to teach how to apply makeup, teach how to put on mascara, teach skincare, so I was teaching then. And then when I was deciding, I'm using Facebook as my platform, because the unique company's business plan required you to use Facebook groups to host your uh, your shows. And I know Marcy knows what I'm talking about because she uses Facebook groups in her business, in her vendor groups and so on, with selling products and delivering good content about the products and doing demonstrations and so on and so forth. She understands what I'm talking about. But back then I didn't know the first thing about Facebook. And that's how I got into deciding that I wanted to teach others how to use Facebook to grow their business and stay out of Facebook jail. And I still do that. I still do that. I still have a few clients that come in and need me to help them, guide them and direct them. And then I started with building websites in 2006. I ended up with 4% Vic Strysus, who just currently has starting to release his software eStage that he had built 2 years ago, that now he's preparing to be available to the public. And so through his teachings, he taught us how to set up a website, but we were using WordPress. And then with the problems that I had with my WordPress website, I had two of them, that I moved away from WordPress and moved into Vic's eStage program. So my website's built by eStage on eStage. I built it. He gives us the templates, and then we are taught how to do it. And so that's what I'm doing now, is I'm teaching others how to build a site that they can be able to promote, capture emails, do emails, campaigns, and also do some affiliate marketing through their system. And the system that we're using is a free. You have the free opportunity to sign up for a free platform, and it's not a 59 10-day trial, 5-day trial. It is a free platform that you can use forever for free, but you're just limited to what you can do. But it's perfect for those that are trying to build an email list to start. So that's what I'm doing for 2025. I'm promoting that. We just finished the 2-day workshop that I had promoted. I had a 2-day workshop that I offered, and we had some people that went through the 2-day workshop, and they in turn signed up for my 5-week program, which is a paid program where I will take them through to that next step to get them started, and then again offer them the opportunity to continue to work with me in my program to move into the next phase of my paid program. So that's what I'm doing, and it's because I'm always learning, always learning. I'm reading books. I'm in a book study club I've been in for 3 years, and we're studying right now John Maxfield's Leadership. And I'm just finding so many things I learn about myself by reading these books, but more importantly, by spending time with others that are reading the same book, because they get different things from it than I do. And we can share our thoughts, our aha moments, which truly opens up that window of education in our lives that we need to be continually doing. And working through the book, we discover with modern technology, and I know a lot of you have found that, a year ago, we didn't have any idea what AI was going to do. And when AI was released, many of us were skeptical about it. And they're thinking, oh, it's the devil incarnate, or it's just something else, or it's this or that. But the truth is, with the way technology is moving forward in this modern age, you as a business owner, if you're not keeping up with technology, choosing to try to learn to use the tools that are available, you're going to be left in the dust, and you're going to always be struggling. And so over the weekend, Brian gave us these spreadsheets so that I can actually dig deeper into, and I know we've talked about this several times, with working on knowing your numbers, knowing where you're at, and setting up your goals for the next year and making your plan and trying to calculate what's your intentions, how fast you want to grow, what's your numbers for the month, where do you want to go. And I know that Marcy knows what I'm talking about because she does this all the time as well, making sure that she's constantly reaching for that next level. It doesn't have to be this huge jump, but if you're not tracking and you're not paying attention to what you're doing, you don't know what's not working and you don't know what is working. Therefore, you don't know how to adjust. And he gave us these incredible spreadsheets. So now, rather than doing it on paper, which is what I've been doing, even though I'm an accountant, and I do have spreadsheets that I put a lot of my data in, he gave us these wonderful spreadsheets that have formulas in them already that I can use to decide I have this to sell. I want to earn this much amount of money. I can put my numbers right in that spreadsheet and it will tell me I need to get these number of sales in this period of time in order to reach that net profit for my company, for my business. And so I am at a different level because I'm always learning. And I'm hoping that you all are having that mindset as well and understanding that we need to always put some time aside for learning. And when I went through my calendar a couple of years ago, well, it was last year, December 2023, 2024, I decided that I was learning all the time. Every day I was learning, trying to get on some kind of a program and learn. And I discovered that I was spending more time learning than I was doing. I was spending more time learning than I was trying to get content out there. And so I just made that commitment for Fridays to be my learning day. And so it's on my calendar on Fridays. I usually block that whole day out. That's the day that I actually do my learning, my training. Of course, I am reading all the time, which is not the same. And so any of these courses that I have access to, then Friday's the day that I'll go in and find something new that I want to learn or something new, something old that I need to brush up on to increase my knowledge and my skill level of what I'm doing. So with that said, I just wanted to come in today and just inspire you guys to just keep going forward, keep doing. And if you think you're spinning your wheels, maybe that's the time to stop and review what you're doing and figure out what's the next thing that you need to be doing. What's that one thing that you need to do that will project you further ahead? And so I do have a presentation today that I wanted to go over and present to you. And offer you the opportunity to do some more thinking on the lines of your business and where you want to take yourself and maybe do a little bit of work. So I'm going to share my screen and we will get started. And again, this is kind of like the thing that I discovered. The area between your ears is your biggest problem. You do become what you think about. And it's very important that we understand that and that we are continually paying attention to what we're thinking, how we are thinking, and asking ourselves, am I holding myself back? And if I am, why am I holding myself back? So we need to be in control. And as a business owner, you have that power to be in control of your life, to be in control of everything that you decide to do, and recognize when you're giving that power to someone else. And when are you giving that power to whatever that noise is that's going on in your head? So, some of the things we're going to look at is separating yourself from your psychosis, hearing voices, turn into your consciousness, step outside of yourself, take an aerial view because you are programmed to do something great. Questioning yourself can be a good thing. And do you find yourself in autopilot often? And when I talk about separating yourself from psychosis, hearing voices, um, I think maybe you've had someone say, do you ever talk to yourself? Do you hear yourself talking to yourself? Do you talk out loud to yourself? And if you can answer yes to any of those questions, that's what I'm talking about. So the number one thing that we need to be doing is personal development, which should be the top of your list, which is I've already discussed. I've already stated that I have made personal development one of the things that's one of my top values, learning. And it has to be on your list. And if you don't have personal development on your calendar monthly or weekly, you're missing out. And the other thing, you must really love what you do. And if you don't love what you do, why are you doing it? And if you know what your values are, is what you're doing serving your values? Because if it's not, you're not going to be happy and you're probably not going to get the results that you want. And then are you making a difference? If you can say, yes, I'm making a difference, How are you making a difference? Do you know how you make a difference? And does it bring you joy? And then you have to sell you to you. You have to be your number one recruiter, your number one cheerleader. Now, it's very true that we do need to recognize boundaries because when we recognize what we did or what we said to somebody that we regret, or even what we've said to ourselves that we regret, it's a sign that we are paying attention to the noise in our head. So oftentimes you have that voice that says you're not good enough, or why did you do that? That was stupid. And if you hear that, then go and look at that task or whatever it is that they came up on and really dig deep and dissect it and see, was this true? Or is this just the noise in my head trying to keep me from moving forward in a positive direction? And also make sure you're paying attention to what triggers you. So if you have negative thoughts all the time, that can be a trigger. If that's the first thing that comes into your mind, a negative thought, you need to go back and look at it and say, why did I think that? What is it about that that's negative? And how can I turn it into a positive? And then recognize where that message is coming from. Is it coming from within? Is it coming from a comment someone made? And are you allowing that comment to have power over you? That is not even a truthful comment. It's just somebody's opinion, and people have the right to their opinion. That doesn't mean their opinion is your truth. And then you have to use a mastery technique when you are triggered to bring yourself back to the now and adjust to stop. And I know I've spoken to others about what I call the PQ reps, where when you're getting distracted and triggered, take a breath and just rub your thumb and your finger together and just close your eyes and just get it out of your head, push it away, don't own it, send it back where it came from, and see if you can bring yourself back to that peaceful place of confidence that you have from within you. And then as a leader, again, you have to recognize yourself. And if you're a business owner and you're trying to attract people to you, you're leading people, you're leading on a path, leading them on a path to a better lifestyle, if whatever it is that you're promoting, a healthier lifestyle, a more organized lifestyle, or confidence in themselves, whatever it is. But make sure that you question yourself so that you're managing that little voice and you're observing objectively as you evaluate yourself, then act and correct whatever's going on. And again, evaluate, act, and correct again. Do not allow yourself to go into that autopilot, which actually is your subconscious mind directing you on a path that it wants you on, that it thinks is keeping you safe, rather than the path that you choose to go down that may take you out of your comfort zone, may cause you to have anxiety because you're stepping on unstepped ground and not quite sure what the results are going to be, the unknown, but yet you know that that path that you've chosen to take is the right path for you. Because most people are too used to letting that CD play in their minds. Don't stop to pay attention long enough to recognize it's playing and not always playing the right message. So you want to make sure that your awareness is roaring up and you're paying attention and you are purposefully choosing to be aware. And I know over the past couple of months that because I've chosen to increase my awareness, it's been my choice. And I stop and reflect and pay attention when something's going on. I'll stop and think about it. Say, okay, where's that coming from? Why did that pop up? And what should I be doing about it? And then as you record your journey, make sure that you write it down. Write down the disturbing things that have come up in your week. Write down the successful things and write down the challenges so you can assess your role and adjust and move yourself forward. So, some of the questions that you should be asking yourself, and if you have your journal with you today and you've got a piece of paper, you might want to write these down. What did I learn? If some people just at the end of the day, they do what we call a brain dump before they go to bed to end up to clean out their mind from the activities that went on during the day. And you might be able to put that down as, what did I learn today? What part did I cause? So if it's a positive, I learned some positive things today. What part about that activity did I cause that made it positive? If it's a negative thing, again, what part did I cause? And if it's the negative, how can I have turned that into a good thing? And where did these thoughts actually come from? Where did my actions come from? Where did my results really come from? So this is a time to really get down deep and dirty and pay attention and be honest with yourself and do yourself a favor and respect yourself enough to get yourself out of whatever that thing is that may be holding you back. That negativity, because we all know negativity is not a good thing for anyone in any time, in any season, and it attracts more negativity. We want positivity in our lives. We want positive things going on in our life. We're happier when we're thinking positive thoughts, but we will have negative thoughts that are going to be interjected. But if we aren't choosing to be aware when that happens, then we cannot avoid those situations in the future unless we choose to be aware. So when you can improve your ability to question, evaluate, acknowledge, and even redirect your own little voice, your life will take on richer meaning. And I can tell you that from my personal experiences, as many of you have heard my testimony from my crash and burn of 2021 and how I had to actually make a choice to move myself out of the bad things that were happening to me and turn them around into the good things that were about to happen and going to be happening. Only then will you finally be in control of your life. So I love the hero's journey. And if you've seen this before, it's probably something that's familiar to you, but this is something that we want to always keep in mind as we're going through our life and as we're going through our business, because it's relevant to both. We are all on a journey and we want to have a hero's journey. We want ourselves to have those success stories as we move through our life. And again, those same questions. What did I learn from whatever actions was going on for the day or for the week or for the month, or whenever you do this, whenever you choose to do this? You could do it daily, you could do it weekly, you could do it monthly, you could do it quarterly, whatever fits into your lifestyle or whatever fits into your desire, your path of deciding to grow and deciding to have your own power and take power. Again, what part did I cause? Where did my thoughts come from? Where did my actions come from? Where did my results really come from? And as you know, you start at the very top. There's always a new beginning. There's always adventures. You might meet someone that can encourage you and inspire you. And then you step over that threshold of the known to the unknown, to the unfamiliar, where you have those trials and failures. Like I've said before, in building websites, I've had those trials and failures where I thought I was doing well and got along and moving through, and suddenly something happened and getting a 404 error, or something didn't work right and I couldn't figure out what it was. It's just a matter of stopping, step aside, look at, what did I learn? Did I cause what happened? Did I miss something? What is it that I missed? And go back and reflect and re-step and redo, and you'll figure it out. Don't just walk away and throw your hands. Oh, I just can't do this. I'm done. No, maybe you feel that way in the moment, and it's okay to feel that way in the moment, but don't let it run you. And then you're going to grow new skills. Then you're going to, it's kind of like this idea of what we are learning. We need to learn, then we need to unlearn, and then we need to relearn. We need to learn again. So we are always learning, but we have to give ourselves permission to unlearn, especially in this modern day of technology. We might have decided we've learned a new technology, a new tool, Now we got to unlearn that tool because we've got a new tool we can replace it with that we have to learn. So then we have to relearn again. So we have to be willing to do those things. And that's where you've got the death and rebirth. So you've got to put the things aside that are no longer working, find the things that will work for the moment and move forward and just keep doing that over and over and over. And you get that revelation, that aha moment. And finally, the changes that are happening are producing fruits. They've lifted you up out of the muck and mire, and you're getting the gift. The money's going into your bank account, and you're on a return, and you've changed, and you're back up to the start again. And it's this cycle that just keeps going on and on and on and on as you take that journey. It is the journey that we are on for life, and we want to be able to stay on that proper path and not fall off. So, how do you gain your confidence? Be true to who you are. Get more from your life. Get serious by following these steps. Do not talk yourself out of things just because it doesn't feel good. Now, like I've said before, when I wanted to learn Facebook, yeah, there were some days in there when I was trying to do what I needed to do to learn something, but I didn't want to stop and do it. But I decided if I'm going to crush this, I've got to keep moving forward. So I just kept repeating the experience because I had to build up my confidence. And I had to tell myself that I can do this, I can figure this out. Just stop and go back and pay attention and put the things together and understand how things are working and keep moving myself forward, immersed myself in projects and tasks. And I had to dig deeper and I had to look at people that I knew that were doing it, people that were successful in it, find out what they were doing and start to model them. That's how I did my trainings when I first started, because I didn't have money to invest in me when I first started. But once I did start building a little bit of an income, I was able to start investing in others that could help project me further faster. Now, when we look at the hero versus the villain, we all have that champion, the loser, and the angel, the devil in us. We all have that. And which one do you want to have win? Do you want that loser, that nasty voice that's in your head, or do you want that positive, rejoicing voice in your head, that cheerleader that's cheering you on, that you can do it and you can move forward? So, how will you get from step A, where you are now, to step B, where you want to be? Do you know how you're going to get there? What value do you have to offer? Do you have any value? Yes, you do. But do you know what your value is? Do you know what you have to offer? What resistance shows up? And what's God saying about you? And in Psalm 139, verse 23, he says, "Oh God, you know my heart. Try me. You know my thoughts." Because he does. He knows your heart. He knows your thoughts. He already knows where you're going and he knows how you can get there. And you don't have to take that road alone. There's support available for you. And if you just let people know, I need a little help here, I'm sure people will be willing to help you. You know, I'm always here to serve. I'm always here to help any way that I can. I've never turned anybody down that's reached out to me. But those that are struggling, that don't ask for my help, and then they discover they could have asked and gotten what they needed when they should have done that a month ago or 2 months ago. Well, that's on them because I've always been here to serve and help in any way that I can. So we've got the golden circle, and I don't know how many of you have ever seen the golden circle before by Simon Sinek, but you have your why, you have your how, and you have your what. And as we know in our business, we know that we have to know what our why. We have to know, why am I choosing to do this? Why am I choosing this path? And why is not about making money. The why has to be, what are you getting from whatever it is you're doing? Because if what you're doing isn't bringing you joy and happiness, then I think maybe you really don't know what your why is, because it has to be your purpose. And like I've said before, my why has always been, I love teaching. Why? Because I want to help other people. And I learn, and whatever I learn, I can teach to other people. And also my health. I had, when I found that crash and burn in 2021, I decided I had been neglecting my health. So I was forced into focusing on my health because that's the only way that I could come out of it, by increasing my health, increasing my bone density, increasing the positive, good eating foods instead of the, well, let's see, I can do the fast food because it's faster and easier. I can do the cheap food because I don't have the money to buy the expensive stuff, which was a lie, because the cheap food, if you do away with the cheap food, they're not healthy for you anyway. And the healthy food is not any more expensive because it's going to nurture your body. And so I had to learn the hard way, and that there are very specific reasons that my company exists. And then the how, some organizations know how they do it. But when we're an online entrepreneur or a soulpreneur, we don't always know the how. So we need to connect with those that can help us learn the how and help us learn how to set ourselves apart from the competition. And a lot of times, soulpreneurs really don't have any competition because they are their own person, their own business. And people purchase because they like us, because we've developed a relationship with them, and not necessarily about the specific brand product that we might be promoting. They trust us. And then the what. Every organization on the planet knows what they do. Do you know what you do? Can you sit down and say, yes, I know exactly what I do and how I do it, what you do and how you serve others, and be specific, write it all out. Because I think sometimes when we put that down on paper, it becomes real to us. And we also will be able to determine the why we do what we choose to do. So my desire for you as leaders is to come off autopilot and start questioning yourselves, managing that little voice, observing objectively, evaluating, then acting and correcting as you go. So be sure to look back at your life and ask yourself, what did you learn? What part did you cause? Where did your thoughts, actions, and results really come from? It doesn't matter if it's during the course of years, days, or hours. What matters is that you are moving forward. So remember, you are a superhero. And the days that you don't feel like you're a superhero, stand up strong with your superpower stance and say, I've got this. And raise your arms up and just shout to the world, I've got this and I'm going to be successful. And I'm working hard on creating this business that will serve others, that will help me to help myself and my family, but more importantly, help others to have a better life as well. So I hope that this has been helpful to you guys, and that you've learned a little bit more, something, or something came on, light bulb or whatever, or maybe it's just a reminder that you needed to get today because you hadn't been thinking about it in a while, or it just needed to be a refresher for you. So any comments, anything specific that I went over that you wanted to discuss or that you found as an aha moment in today's presentation? Marcy's on silent tonight, Sandra, so she's only putting in the chat when she responds. So go ahead if you had something you wanted to say. You're on mute.
Let me go over my notes because uh there's so much that you talked about,
Okay.
uh being in control of my life,
Mhm.
and the things that hold me back. Those are the one, and finding out my why. That today, when I was um coming back from, a matter of fact, I told I'm going to ramble here for a moment until
Okay, go ahead.
start my thoughts start to align themselves. As I was working out this morning with